what is love? And we'll get all these different, you remember those cartoons back in the Stone Ages when we had newspapers that were delivered right to your house? You had that comic section, and it was just those little Love Is cartoons at the bottom. Remember those? What was your favorite one? Did you have a favorite one? Can you remember? Love is, I remember one, love is never having to say you're sorry. Sometimes that's not true. That's like, how cute is that? But what is it? Is it a thing? Is it a, sometimes it's in form, sometimes it's formless, right? But it's all things, and it's become all things. It's become each of us. And not only has it become us, it surrounds us at all times. It's an energetic, that as we think, there are subtle vibrations in realms that we have access to, when we can energize ourselves in a particular way to create a certain geographic, a geometric structure in ourselves that becomes more crystalline in nature. So Rumi would say Yogananda would say thousands of suns and moons from my body doth shine. 13th century mystic poet Rumi would say, you are the seal on a treasure, and you are a diamond mine. When we think about that, he says, open your hidden eyes. Not these. Open your hidden eyes. You are the seal on a treasure, and you're a diamond mine. We're not reminded of that very much as we move through our days, are we? Sometimes it's hard to remember that I'm a seal on a treasure and I'm a diamond mine. So the form of who we are is the seal. Jesus would say the body is your temple. And if thy temple, if thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. There it is again. These reflections, these fractal wave of consciousness, the spiral itself, how it, there are 4-dimensional things that can be experienced and seen, but very difficult to replicate, of things that are spiraling one way and the other way at the same time, like beyond the yin-yang symbol. It's an energy that is produced when we are doing that, and it's the energy of human. We can not only capture it, we can access it, not to hold on to it, but to allow ourselves to be that center of where this flip happens, so that we're constantly in a state of flow and not form. Our form can create an opportunity for flow to happen through it. So we can be little walking transformers of consciousness. Indeed, we are. I came in here this morning telling 2 different stories, like how my evening started and then how it ended up. But the first one was a follow-up to a story I started telling a friend the other day. It was one that was not really favorable. It was challenging. People present challenges for us. And it was like, geez, but to help strengthen our resolve, I think, to be loving and compassionate, but also be clear and direct, and have the courage to be curious about, why would you think you can do that? But also curious how to handle a situation where you have to make sure everybody's safe and sound. It's sometimes we find ourselves in these positions. As a matter of fact, every time you get into your car on the highway, that's a very courageous act. How often do you get curious as you're driving? Like, where's our turn signal, buddy? Or things like that. Just thinking about all these different ways that we express in form as form. Then we've got lovely beings who've kind of, I don't even want to say figured it out, but they've spent more time on that inner journey, on the inner journey of transformation. Therefore, the recognition of this whole thing is a cosmic dream. Nobody is going to be in this particular form forever, but as we, transform into another form of consciousness, the word form is still in it. So what are we holding in our bodies mostly? Thousands of suns and moons from my body does shine. In divine realization state, there is the recognition that the universe is inside me. What I bring forth is an out picturing of this universe. So if we want to change the world, there was my favorite bumper sticker a long time ago, is change the world, change yourself. Or another way Gandhi said it, be the change you wish to see in the world. We've seen that. That sounds lovely. But it also is so simple with the recognition of that means the work is mine to do, not somebody else's. How do you like that? Hey, we can hear that too. But how quickly are we reminded of it, or how quickly do we access that awakening, that awareness in real time when a situation is rolling out? Okay, this is mine to handle. I need to keep in possession of my consciousness here and to not kick over my pail of peace. It doesn't mean you never raise your voice, or it doesn't mean you're not ever stern or anything like that. You know, when Yogananda said, when you pray, the whole world must shake. The infinite needs to know you mean business with it. Be clear and summon forth all the will and the intelligence and that cosmic mighty force. The omnipotence of spirit resides in every one of ourselves, every single one. I say we have so many atoms in our bodies. If we just once split one of those atoms of consciousness, the explosion of light would be tremendous. You would see nothing and everything at the same time, because it has become all things. But when we think that we're just taking it in through our eyes or in through our senses, great limitations are placed on our capacity for full realization. So this curiosity of like, what is this thing called love? So many songs have been written about it. There's one of the songs comes from a poem again of Rumi's, who is a Sufi. And the Sufis can be found in every faith tradition that we're aware of right now, and some that are being created right now, like SoulCall is a faith tradition of your soul's calling is your path. And the soul's calling is the calling of love, to bring forth that which you're passionate about, because it helps other people to come alive too. So this, the Sufis, if they had to be a religion at all, theirs would be the religion of love. And it's enlightenment and allowing yourself to feel and recognize. But there's a song called Nothing Happens Without You. And it was taken from the poem inspired by Rumi. And it's, at times, I felt I had self-control. At times, I felt a prisoner of myself. Now, all that's changed. Nothing happens without you. All of a sudden, it takes the pressure off the limitations we have when we realize we can't get out of the force field of love if we try. That's all that holds any of it together. When you realize there's something beyond, just greater than you, it's a loving divine mother. It's the loving force of the infinite. That's all there is. Nothing happens without you. You are air and you are wings. So you're the air and the thing that enjoys the air. It looks like opposites, but they're one. We wouldn't know there was air or a breeze until we saw something physical moving through it or feeling it. You are air and you are wings. You are my work and my repose, my rose garden and spring. Nothing happens without you. So without the spring, you can have a lovely rose garden, but without the proper atmosphere, the proper energy around it, rooted in it, coming from the elements outside, inside, up and through, we have no rose garden. The metaphor for us, you are a walking rose garden. Yogananda says, may all who cross my path catch a whiff of my divine joy. So, has anybody ever called you a little walking rose garden before? Probably not, but we're doing that today. So what a consciousness, if you recognize I was called forth to be a walking rose garden, fragrant with beauty and soul qualities. You get busy to the business of doing that. Not the thorns. Sometimes we could be a little prickly, but that's part of life too. It's not, what is that song? I never promised you a rose garden. I don't know all those words. That's an old song. Your gentleness, back to the song, your humbling power, leave my heart, nowhere else to turn. Like, I can't get out of it. You can't. It's kind of arrogant to think that we play a larger role in the things than we actually do. And I think that's where divine realization comes from. Our consciousness, the best use of the mind is to direct it to get out of the little mind and connect it to omnipresence. And in that is that freedom of non-attachment to an outcome. We don't always understand why things go this way or that way, but it's always in it for us somehow, for us to get something else to help us to proceed with a little more realization or understanding of something we find ourselves in. It might not always come in the way. Think of a time something amazing came your way in a way you would have never expected it to come. Can you all think of something? It's like, I would have never imagined it would happen this way, but wow. The infinite loves to blow our minds and our hearts wide open with love. So as challenging things come, so do the amazing things too sometimes. We don't have to know it all. All we need to know is how to stay connected and in tune with the vibration, the frequency of pure love, pure joy, pure light. It's like a radio dial. And those who have left this world in this physical form, if you got in touch with the pure essence of that individual, that radio dial, that frequency which is them, you can dial them out of the ether at any time. And in fact, it doesn't take long. It's instantaneous because there's no separation. It's instantaneous. Faster than the speed of light is the speed of love. I say that all the time because it's true. Try it. Send somebody love. Think about them in the morning. I thought of Rachel this morning, and I thought maybe this afternoon, if I'm not doing anything, I'm going to swing by there. And she came walking right through the front door. Like, oh. But I should have trusted that, and I should have came prepared to buy. She made this gorgeous thing that I can't stop wearing. It's mine. And I love it. It's so sweet. I'm a diamond mine. Pay attention to what you're attracted to. Like the story of this medallion. I tried on how many things did I look at over there? A lot. A lot. And I've never been attracted to something like this before, but it's exactly the one I need. What is it? Tourmaline. Tourmaline.
Oh gosh, tourmaline and
quartz. Yeah. Very fun. So anyway, I'm laughing because how do you say it again? I said it to a friend. Tourulated quartz, and the person was half listening, and she said, "Did you just say mutilated corpse?" No, I did not. Is that what this looks like? Yeah, lovely image there. Sorry for that. But it's all in the field of love. But finding these things, I was curious about why I was attracted to this. Well, I didn't know what it meant. We didn't even know what it was at the time. We couldn't remember. And but every time I put it on or touched it, it felt good. So I'm like, well, this is the one I want. And later, and when I had a chance to do some research on it, it's exactly what I need to be wearing right now.